What's up everyone, Cousin Bobby back again with another Arc Raiders guide. This time, I'm covering the damn Battlegrounds, going over how to optimize your solo loot runs. Although this map is larger and more open than Buried City, I was still able to get a decent amount of blueprints and loot. Once I learned the ideal routes and locations, these runs are designed to be quick and average about 8 to 12 minutes, so you can build up your credits while finding rare items as quickly as possible. Out of the loot runs I did over the course of a day, I was able to bring in around 40,000 to 65,000 credits when joining a fresh match. As mentioned in my previous video, incorporating a couple of these solo loot runs into your day are a great way to farm rare materials, blueprints, and build up the millions of credits that might be needed again for the 5 skill points once expeditions go live. Alright, before we get into the details, if you are enjoying this video and the channel's content, feel free to subscribe to the channel and like this video as it helps to support the channel as it continues to grow. Thanks again for the support. Now let's get into the details around the strategy, routes, and what's needed for these quick solo loot runs on the damn Battleground map. As a quick reminder from my previous Buried City video, which I've linked in the description below, ideally you'll want to run a blue looting augment for optimal inventory space and additional trinket slots. As for the weapons, I'm still using the same 2 weapons, the Pharaoh and the Stitcher, one for Arc if needed, and the other for any possible PvP. After testing some additional types of loot drops, I did want to make some changes to the recommendations in my previous video. It's worth noting that you'll want to look for some green crafting items like wires, magnets, batteries, and durable cloth, as some of these items can stack up to 15 times, are easy to find, and have good resale multipliers. If you're looking for a more detailed breakdown or refresher on the general recommendations and overall strategy, you can check out the Buried City video mentioned earlier, which is also linked in the description below. Alright, now let's go over the detailed map for the damn Battlegrounds and what I learned while testing out these loot runs. Alright, as you can see, the damn Battleground map has a larger footprint and is less dense than the Buried City map. Because of this difference in layout and density, it took me a little more time to come up with the optimal paths for the ideal loot runs. As you can see though, I still created a high-level map for the damn Battlegrounds to show the various spawn points, routes, and points of interest you can focus on. Similar to the Buried City map, red circles are where I spawned throughout the period I was testing out these runs. Again, the red X indicates the location of possible high-tier loot, which consists of weapon cases, backpacks, and lockers, as these seem to have the highest chance of ideal drops. And lastly, the yellow arrows are the possible routes for how you should pre-plan moving from location to location to optimize for time. As mentioned in my previous video, during a raid, things may happen that cause you to divert your intended path, but hopefully this map helps you in learning the points of interest to help pivot when needed. For the damn Battlegrounds, the main difference is the loot runs need to be a little bit longer than the Buried City, so these runs will average anywhere from 8 to 12 minutes depending on where you spawn. I also wanted to share a breakdown of all the runs and average value of the loot that I extracted with so you can get an idea of what to expect. Over the 15 loot runs, I averaged between 34,000 to 68,000 credits per run, and it was heavily dependent on the location of spawn and at what time I started the raid. As you can see, there was one outlier where I only made 21,000 credits due to starting the raid at 17 minutes. Additionally, during the recording of this video, this was a new raider as I started fresh after the expedition, so I didn't have access to skills like Breach yet. Although the value of the loot seemed to be less consistent as the buried city, I did feel as though I received quite a bit more blueprints as I found around 4 to 5 during this trial. Alright, now that we went over the map and overall strategy, I did have some favorite locations that I wanted to share in more detail. These locations are research and administration, testing annex, and the apartments. So let's dive into why I recommend prioritizing those locations if you end up spawning near them in the raid. For the first location, I recommend the research and administration building. This building and office is connected to the control tower and is a high tier loot location. If you spawn close to this location early, it has lockers, desks, and laboratory equipment, and sometimes a chance to spawn medical bags. Additionally, I have found it's a good place to get trinkets for credits and rare crafting materials. I recommend focusing on the lockers and desks first when looting this location, as they have a good chance of dropping blueprints, rare trinkets, and crafting materials. Also, don't worry too much if some of the containers have already been looted or you hear another raider nearby, as there is enough containers to still find decent loot. Up next is the testing annex. The testing annex is located in the southeastern part of the map near the control tower and research and administration buildings. It is a medium tier loot location. Although it doesn't have many lockers and desks, there are a bunch of containers to loot and also a chance at security lockers to spawn in the building for additional weapon drops and weapon blueprints. Additionally, it's a fast loot to extract location if you spawn nearby, which helps in maximizing your time when doing these types of runs. Lastly, if you want to bring a keycard, there are 2 areas in the basement that you can unlock that have additional security lockers, weapon cases, and potentially rare drops. My third favorite spot to loot on the damn Battlegrounds map are the apartments. This location is in the northern outskirts of the damn Battleground map. Although these locations don't have as many containers to loot like the other 2 locations I mentioned, if there's an event happening on the map, there's always a high chance of finding blueprints in these buildings. You can also quickly extract at the raider hatch nearby, or you can quickly rotate over to the hydroponic domes or power generation complex afterwards. Alright, that's it for my 3 favorite locations, but I did want to give honorable mentions to both the water treatment and power generation complex, which surprised me with the returns on loot, but it just takes a little more time when trying to do quick loot runs. If you want to share your favorite loot spots on the damn Battleground map, feel free to leave a comment on this video. Alright, before I end the video, I wanted to share some additional thoughts around the damn Battleground and how it compares to the buried city. Overall, the damn Battleground offers a good location for loot, high value returns, and it is relatively more friendly of a map than the buried city, so it's a good location for farming loot if you choose to. Personally, I feel like given the density and the more compact nature of the buried city map, it's ideal for quicker loot runs, but given the amount of blueprints I found throughout the damn Battleground, plus the event boost, it's a good location and alternative for doing quick loot runs. Although I didn't have time to share all of the spawn and loot locations in detail, I wanted to share the map so it can help you with planning and optimizing your strategy. Feel free to use this map as a guide next time you are looking to farm loot in the damn Battleground. As a reminder, these are designed to be quick runs that should focus on collecting high value loot quickly, so there are limits to PvP and ARC. This doesn't mean you don't have to engage in PvP if that's your playstyle, but this is designed to be a priority loot mindset. I hope this guide and strategy help you next time you're in the wasteland. If you have any preferred routes that work, feel free to share them in the comments below to help others on their journey. I'll be looking to make similar guides for other maps, so be on the lookout in the near future. Also, if there are any guide videos, tips and tricks, let's plays, or indie game dev videos you're interested in, feel free to leave a comment on this video. Thanks again for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit the subscribe button as it helps support the channel. Looking forward to catching you in the next one.
Catch me if I